In the United States, the investment banking giant JP Morgan is set to take over the troubled US bank First Republic in a deal brokered by regulators. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation confirmed in a statement that First Republic had collapsed on Monday, making it the third major US bank to collapse in the last few months. Our US correspondent Martha Kellner joins me now from Los Angeles. And Martha, how worried is the White House about all this?
Yeah, fairly concerned, and I think a concern shared by the wider public. People will have woken up this morning, quite understandably, seen this news about First Republic and been worried about their own money, their own bank, because, as you mentioned, this is the third major US bank to collapse in just the past 8 weeks, following the collapse first of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. And there had been concern after the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank that would prompt more bank runs. First Republic knew that this was a danger. They had immediately sought to reassure customers and investors, but nerves weren't calmed, and that became very apparent when last week they released their earnings for the year, and it became clear that customers had withdrawn far more money than Wall Street expected, $100 billion in deposits in the first 3 months of the year. And at that point, it became clear that something very dramatic would have to happen to save First Republic. The FDIC, the regulator, stepped in at that point. They seized the bank and they asked other banks to take a look at First Republic to see if they might be interested in putting in a bid to buy this failing bank. And 3 banks did so. Overnight, the federal regulator announced that JP Morgan Chase, the biggest of the big banks, had brought First Republic, securing most of its assets and around $100 billion in deposits. The JP Morgan chief executive said, "Our government invited us and others to step up, and we did." There are more than 80 branches of First Republic across the United States, predominantly in California and New York. So overnight, their customers became customers of JP Morgan Chase. And the hope in the White House and on Wall Street is that they've avoided the same sort of uncertainty and nervousness that accompanied the Silicon Valley collapse, and that hopefully this will not affect the banking sector in the same way and further bank collapses can be avoided.
Martha, thank you very much.